Team news first of all, how's everybody looking?
Well, we've a doubt over Matt Mills, so we'll have to wait and see how he is. And obviously, Lee Chung-Young's away now with the national team. Craig Davis is back fit, so he will come into the squad, as is Kevin McNaughton. So 2 out and 2 in really.
How do you look forward to a local derby in the FA Cup?
Well, I think it's great. We've had Wigan here already, and then we've had Blackburn. So the crowds have been fantastic, and the atmosphere have been great, and they've been really good games. So I'd expect the same tomorrow. Cup tie, anything can happen. So your league form goes out the window really. So it'll be an exciting game, I'd imagine.
Having said that, your league form in recent weeks has been pretty decent. So is a cup round a bit of a distraction, or do you look forward to getting involved in the competition?
No, I look forward to it. I think it's important as the season goes on to maintain that form. I think it can help. Some people think it can be a hindrance, but I'd rather be in the competition than that. And you have to look at who we're playing. Over the last 2 seasons, they've had a fantastic record. They've won it and been to the semi-final. And I'm sure their fans wouldn't have swapped that for anything.
Looking back at your play career, you had good success in the League Cup.
Yeah.
How was the FA Cup to you as a player?
Not great. We got, I think it was the 6th round. One year, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and there was a big controversy about Erling Johnson taking a dive, and it cost us the game. The referee gave a penalty. I can't remember who the referee was, but it was a huge controversy at the time. And I remember Martin was inconsolable, and rightly so. I think Chelsea went on to win it that year, and we had won the League Cup. But no, the 6th round is about as good as it got for me in the FA Cup anyway.
But in terms of the League Cup, that taste of a final, as a player, I guess that's going to be one of the big highlights of your career.
Oh, you can't beat it. There's nothing. We were fortunate. We got to 3 League Cup finals and won 2, and it's just special. For the bigger clubs, sometimes because they do it year in year out, they might take it for granted. But for a club like Leicester to have that success, it was amazing, really. So I'd gone from playing for Crewe the following season, playing in the Premier League and winning a League Cup. It was just amazing. Something I never thought would happen in my career.
And in terms of Bolton's league campaign at the moment, I know we've just turned the year, so everybody's starting to reflect and have a look. I've got you down as 11 points off the playoffs at the moment. How do you assess what's left of your season now?
Well, it's still doable, although we're still looking over our shoulder at the bottom 3. So January is an important month in terms of getting recruitment in and bolstering the squad, because we are a bit late at the minute. But the players have been fantastic since they've come in, and they've given everyone a lift. The place is starting to bounce again. The crowds are fantastic, and they're really with the team. So there's a lot of optimism going into the new year.
What have you done exactly with them? Because there is a distinct mood change, and the results are starting to come through. What have you done exactly? Maybe
it's a change of voice or a change of approach, but we've just basically done what we did at Celtic. We've kept it pretty simple. We like to attack. We like to get the team on the front foot. We've brought a bit of experience in Good Johnson and Heskey, and they've given the place a bit of a lift as well. But the core of the team have been good players. I inherited some good players from Dougie, and I spoke to them privately about it and told them that. So, whatever people think of Dougie, he brought in some good players to the football club. Now, for whatever reason, they weren't performing, but we're getting the best out of them now, which is obviously great for us.
And when you've got the likes of Good Johnson and Heskey, yes, I can appreciate what they do for you on the pitch, but what's their influence like off the pitch and in the dressing room?
Excellent. They've come here to play. They haven't come here. Obviously, money's not an issue now. Speak to the players, give them a little bit of tidbits of advice. I just think having their presence around the place is obviously good as well. It gives the players a lot of confidence, and there's an aspirational level as well to get to that level that they've played at. So they've been a very good influence. They're tiring a wee bit now, so we're giving them plenty of rest in between, but they've still got the quality, and that's the most important thing.
And have you got to decide and be very careful with them, as you say, physically, just when and how you...
Of course, yeah, and obviously I'm guided by them as well, but they're great pros, and it'll be a short-term thing, obviously, but they're already making their presence felt on the field as well as off.
And in terms of January, how does it stand at the moment? Are you sitting there with Phil with a shopping list? Or
Yes, Yeah, but we haven't got much money to spend, if at all. So any money we do generate will be through sales, and obviously, you know, there's pros and cons of that as well. So we're waiting to see if there's any interest in any of our players. I'm sure there will be, but you know, what we're doing at the minute is looking at loans and Bosmans and trying to be a bit imaginative with how we go about our business, and hopefully try and bring players in who'll make us better.
Yeah, there's been definite links with Chris Commons and Nick Powell. Are those two players in particular on your radar?
Well, I mean, it's speculation at the minute, you know, and you don't want to. You've made an inquiry for a couple of players, yeah, but I can't name names. Obviously, they're still linked with their own clubs, but those two players are good players, you know, and I know Chris very well, but there's been no contact between us and Celtic about him at the minute.
And in terms of bringing players in, do you feel that's pivotal now if you are going to try and...
Yes, oh, no question about it, Pete, yeah. I mean, we've done really well, but the loss of Mark Davis and Max Clayton long term has, you know, bit us. You know, they're two players who would have been very important in the second half of the season. And then we've lost Chungy for a month at least, although with his contract coming up, they may be interested in him. So there's three players who would make us a lot better. So we have to be on the front foot now.
And do you relish that sort of situation where you're like maybe coming up on the rails, tucked away? Nobody will probably just, you know, rate your chances at the moment, and just that nice scenario of you being able to come through.
I would like us to be a little bit closer, but I'll take where we are at the minute, yeah. And if we can just eat away at that gap, it would be fantastic. There's no pressure on us. The pressure is to stay in the division, so we're making big inroads into doing that. However, making the playoffs is a big ask, but it's doable, so it'd be nice to put pressure on other teams and slowly but surely, you know, maybe claw them back.
And people have that argument, you know, if you scrape into the playoffs, so there's always your time, it's seen, or whether you wait for next season and do a full push and maybe go automatic. How do you take it? If your chances there, you just grab it?
I'd scrape into the playoffs, me, you know, and then it's a clean slate. It's a 3-game cup final if you get to Wembley. Form goes out the window. I know from my own experience with Leicester doing that. We made it last day, ended up winning at Wembley, so anything can happen. Just getting in there's the big thing, really.